The Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Dele Ezoba, has been speaking on the release of 2 U.S. citizens kidnapped in the waters of the South-South region about 2 weeks ago. Although he refused to comment on the terms of their release, he gave the assurance that security agencies are working towards a crime-free maritime domain. Vice Admiral Ezoba was speaking with journalists after the commissioning of projects within Navy Town in the Ojo area of Lagos today.
What we do in securing our maritime space is done to the best of our ability. It is a Herculean task, but given Mr. President's mandate and support, we have continued to do the needful to ensure that we place a secure maritime space. But be that as it may, you can't take away the fact that criminality is synonymous with human nature, and particularly in our own environment, where we have socioeconomic, issues to deal with. For the Americans that were captured or kidnapped, we're lucky that we got them out alive. The methodology we adopted should be best kept as a secret, because if we let it out of the bags, then the bad guys will be 2 steps ahead of us. So we intend to leave it at that and to say that we're doing what is humanly impossible. All the security agencies, the Nigerian Navy, the Army, the police, the SSS, the Civil Defense Corps, we're adding value to our intelligence gathering capability.
Well, to this rather sad and unfortunate incident, 3 students have been killed in an auto accident early today on the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway in Lagos State. The tragic event led to a spontaneous protest by residents and touts, also known as area boys. The protesters blocked the entire expressway, making movement in both directions impossible. Heavy traffic stretching over 10 kilometers built up on the road on the way to Ekpe, trapping thousands of motorists heading to work. Efforts by the police to clear the road were resisted by the protesters, and the police then shot into the air to scare them away. Unconfirmed reports say that there was an exchange of fire between the hoodlums and the police. Well, in other exciting news, frontline sports brand Adidas has double reason to celebrate. Its sponsored team, the Super Eagles, made it to the 2014 Cup Finals in Brazil, and the brand's retail outlets also celebrated a successful 12 calendar month of operations in the country. Adidas, which came to Nigeria through a strategic retail partnership with Mofet Sports Nigeria, celebrated its exciting first year at its retail outlets in Lagos, giving special treats to its customers.
Football-loving Nigerians will remember November the 16th as the day the Super Eagles officially qualified for the 2014 FIFA World Cup. But what many don't know is that it was also the day Adidas, the team's official kit sponsor, celebrated its first anniversary in Nigeria at its premier store in Lagos. The sportswear manufacturing company hosted customers to a VIP product exhibition and reception with side activities including live beaming of the Nigeria-Ethiopia game in Calabar.
Find a way through this Ethiopian defensive line. As you can see, the pitch is in a very good condition indeed.
Well, thank the Nigerian public for the support shown to our partner over the year and for allowing us to be successful within our first year. I'd also like to wish the Super Eagles all the best.
So what we want to do is to make sure that Adidas experience is given to every Nigerian, because it's an aspirational brand, and that's what we want to make available to Nigerians.
And the good news is, more outlets are in the offing.
We've got 2 stores lined up to open up in December, one in Lekki and one in Kanu. So we're really proud of being able to roll out those 4 stores this year and being able to take our reach across the country to more and more Nigerians.
And present it to him.
In the spirit of the celebration, Adidas give out priceless collector's items including official match ball from the last African Cup of Nations, a Super Eagles autographed team shirt, and tickets to the UEFA Champions League match between Chelsea Football Club and FC Basel.
Well, Nigeria has recorded another milestone in the international arena. This time around, it's the aviation sector. A Nigerian, Dr. Olumuyiwa Babatunde Aliyu, has been elected president of the International Civil Aviation Organization. That's the umbrella world body for aviation safety. He was elected today at the 38th Assembly of the organization in Montreal, Canada, by an assembly consisting of 172 countries, and he's the first African to head the world body. Dr. Aliyu received full support from the federal government and Nigerians as the Minister of Aviation, Stella Odua, led the Nigerian delegation to drum up support for him. All right, from there we move on to business news. Here's Adeshawa Josh. Adeshawa.
Well, thank you. Well, the business stories at this hour. The Naira traded flat at the interbank market today. The local currency closed at 159 Naira, 8 kobo to the dollar. Traders say Adex Petroleum's local unit sold $8 million to some banks, while some units of foreign banks showed signs they might sell down their dollar positions, creating expectations the Naira could get some support during the week. Meanwhile, at the end of the ongoing Monetary Policy Committee meeting tomorrow, the CBN is expected to hold interest rates at 12% or take other measures to tighten liquidity. The Minister of Trade and Investment, Dr. Olusegun Ogaga, has announced government's plan to establish an organized retail sector in the country. Dr. Ogaga announced the plan at the launch of the Retail Council in Abuja, where he also noted that the sector has the capacity to provide jobs for the nation's youths and improve the nation's gross domestic product. The minister said over 90% of the nation's trade is done through informal retail. The National Bureau of Statistics says the nation's economy measured by real gross domestic product grew by 6.81% in the third quarter of the year. In a report latest released by the Bureau, this figure was higher than the 6.18% recorded in the second quarter of 2013 and the 6.48% attained in the corresponding quarter of 2012. The report also estimated the nominal GDP for the third quarter as 11.1 trillion naira, up from 10.2 trillion for the second quarter of the year and 10.9 trillion naira recorded in the corresponding period of 2012. Now, if you are looking for where to purchase high quality and long-lasting phones of any brand at all, just visit PTV Phones in Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria. At its rebranding ceremony in Lagos, PTV Phones promised to remain unchanged at what it's known for, and that's integrity. Our correspondent, Loretta Chiogo, reports.
No mistaking, it's not a church service, but the rebirth ceremony of Peace Tiding Venture, popularly known by its acronym PTV Phones.
To unveil the new headquarters of PTV.
With that unveiling of the new logo, the Chief Executive Officer of the company, Banji Adesomi, says PTV now offers more.
We will move from provision of just phone devices alone to offering other ICT and technology products like computers, laptops, camera, and a lot more. We will also begin to offer additional services like after-sales support and repairs where needed.
Earlier, Mr. Adesomi's few minutes of recorded speech quieted the hall. He recalled the demolition of his multi-million naira office project near completion by the Lagos state government for not meeting the approved design. This demolition happened a day after he flew in the ill-fated Dana plane that crashed on June 3, 2012. And changing the mood now, Sheyi Law, one of Nigeria's finest comedians, is now PTV Phone's brand ambassador.
Some people don't buy phone. They say they carry phone. Phone when you take money by you, they want to play fly pass, your phone will vibrate. Buy original. Patronize PTV.
Smiling broadly, he celebrates the ability to erect this building on the same site.
We have a slang in PTV, we don't do palasa of whatever shape or form.
At the moment you have Infinix, you have Nokia, you have BlackBerry, you have Samsung, you have Techno, you've got Apple. You know, those are some of the brands currently in the stables of PTV.
This cake is a replica of the tall PTV head office situated on 13 Obafemi Awolowo Way, Ikeja in Lagos. And 8 years in phone business, PTV says, finally, quality has a name. Loretta Chiogo, Channels Television News.
Now let's take you to the Nigerian stock market, where the all-share index returned to the 38,000 psychological line today on improved bargain hunting. Nestle recorded a 49.78 naira gain to lead Monday's price gainers. Here's Loretta Chiogo with a summary.
Hello and welcome to Stock Market Report tonight. The key indicators ended Monday's session in North Territory as the all-share index rose by 0.45% to finish at 38,053.73 points. Market capitalization also closed at 12.17 trillion naira. Monday's top three price appreciators are food giants Nestle, Guinness and Mobil. Cornell was the day's heaviest loser as investors chopped off 3 naira 80 kobo from the equity. Others that got the cold shoulder include Nigeria Breweries and Guarantee Trust Bank. Now, for the first trading day of the week, Transnational Corporation of Nigeria was the most actively traded stock, churning out over 388.03 million units. Computer Warehouse Group, an information communication technology firm, which listed on Friday, was also among the session's top volume drivers as it traded 96.15 million units. Now, when the closing bell rang, volume jumped to 862.68 million units exchanged in over 5,000 deals and for 5.70 billion naira. And that's the stock market report. I am Loretta Chiogo.
And that's business news tonight. The news at 10 continues in a moment.